What's up, Shit Talk Central? Sorry I don't have any fun music for you this week, but as you can tell, I am not in my usual surroundings. I'm doing Chad's 2 Cents week 3 of 2014, kind of guerrilla style from my mom's house, just so you fuckers can get it before the Thursday night game happens. Anywho, now that we got that out of the way, I should say, I had a plan to use some music for Cupcake since he was high score this week. I wanted to use his music that he used to use as an intro back when we were backyard wrestlers together. Unfortunately, I don't have my CD collection with me, and I couldn't find one usable copy of that particular song on the internet. Sorry, Cupcake. Get high score again and I'll make it up to you next time. But anyway, let's move on to what happened in week 2. See what kind of fun stuff there is for me to talk about. Alright, well, since I already mentioned mine and Cupcake's matchup, I guess I'll just review that a little bit. I feel like I am really having some bad luck so far this year. Obviously, it's not the first time I mentioned that, but Cupcake gets high score of the week, and he happens to be playing me on a week where I would have beaten anybody except for him and Holtz. So that fucking sucks. And I don't really think my luck is going to get any better thanks to the whole Adrian Peterson bullshit. But it is what it is. Moving right along to the first tie that we've had this year already in week 2 between Pat and Baker. That was a hell of a matchup, guys. Obviously it sucks for you, Bake, having to lose because of bench points, because Pat had a world of them and you had damn near none. But still, I think both you guys being at 1-1 pretty much speaks to what your teams are going to be, at least for the moment. On to Jeff and Justin. Another close matchup. Had Jeff put somebody in instead of AJ Green, he might have gotten away with the win here. Whatever. Let Justin have a inflated sense of ego for once, I guess, because I don't really remember too many years in Shit Talk Central where he started out 2-0, so good for him and his Whipmunks. Now here's one that I really need to talk about. I had this as my matchup of the week for week 2, and on the upside, I picked the winner. Good job for you, Holtz. On the downside, I feel kind of stupid making this my matchup of the week because I feel like Monday is becoming the guy in Shit Talk Central who really isn't paying attention. I should thank him for that, because if he was, I probably wouldn't have ended up with Ahmad Bradshaw off the waiver wire, and God knows I needed another running back. So thanks for that, Monday. But in terms of playing Jordan Cameron, were you just not paying attention at all there, dude? Because seriously, I listened to a lot of that Saints-Browns game. He wasn't on the field the whole time. I don't think anybody expected him to be. Now, playing Charles Clay instead wouldn't have gotten you the win, but at least it would have made you look respectable. Fucking pay attention, dude. We don't need another niggity in this league, alright? Brett and Bobby. How pathetic was this matchup between two guys who were supposed to have good squads? Brett won, and all he had to do was score 99 points. That does not happen often in Shit Talk Central, so I guess I need to congratulate you for squeaking that one out, Brett. Unfortunately for Bobby, to only score 97 and still be close to a victory, you guys both just happened to have forgettable weeks when you were playing each other. Kind of am hoping that Brett has another forgettable week since I have to play him this week. And let's transition seamlessly into the week 3 matchup since I already mentioned it. I'm playing Brett. I'm 0-2. He's 2-0. Honestly, the only thing that makes me feel like I have a choice, or yeah, I have a chance here, is the fact that Peyton Manning has to play Seattle in Seattle. That makes me feel like I have a shot. But I mean, right now my team is all depth and no superstars other than Aaron Rodgers, and Antonio Brown, which brings me to something I wanted to make sure I mentioned, gentlemen. I'm ready to at least talk about making some trades. So if anybody is interested in either Aaron Rodgers or Antonio Brown, get at me and we can talk about whether or not you can give me the right price. Because I'm ready to make a trade, but I'm not ready to give up on my season yet, so I'm still going to want something in return. All right, next we've got the two Justins facing off. I mean, I've talked to Cupcake about this matchup a lot, and I pretty much agree with his assessment. You know, while this seems like a matchup that should be close, fucking Drizzle has some really favorable matchups here. I mean, Giovanni Bernard against Tennessee. He's got fucking Calvin Johnson against Green Bay. I mean, right now he's got Jeremy Hill in there too. I don't know if he's planning on playing both Cincinnati backs. I guess he could get away with that. It does look like he's playing both Detroit wide receivers against that porous Green Bay defense. Sorry, Pat, but it's the truth. I mean, you can't say that Cupcake has no shot. He did just get high score of the week in week 2. It's just, the matchups basically make it look like Driz is going to go 3-0. I know nobody wants to hear that but Driz, but it is what it is. Next, we got Jeff playing Monday in, if Monday pays attention, he might be able to make it interesting. If he plays Jordan Cameron again, who the fuck knows? Jeff might just run away with it and make Monday look stupid. He'll be sitting at 0-3. At this point, though, I guess I should hope that Monday goes 0-3, because in the outside chance that I do and I'm sitting at the bottom, then I'm going to want somebody sitting down there with me. So, good luck this week, Jeff. All right, next we've got Holtz and Baker. I almost made this my matchup of the week because I think it might be that good. By the way, Bake, smart on your part, making the switcheroo with Jeff so you can get Jamal Charles back up. Having the Kansas City backfield locked up is probably going to be a really good move for you, because at least that way you'll know, no matter what, you have the guy in the number 1 slot for that particular team. But let's just look at this for a second here. Holtz, with his crazy Philadelphia heavy roster, has Foles, Sproles, and McCoy all in right now against Washington. Call me crazy, I give Washington a chance to win that game, because that's how I picked it on my pick sheet. Cupcake calls me a traitor to Philadelphia for doing that, but I just think the NFC East is going to be close one way or another, and even if Philly wins it, they're not going to run away with it. I think that Washington could squeak out a victory there and kind of, shore up the NFC East. So we'll see about that. But then he's got Arian Foster against the G-Men, Gronk against Oakland. He's got some good matchups. He's rolling with the Niners defense in Arizona. I don't love that. That kind of seems like it might be a little suspect after what the Bears did to him on Sunday night this past week. Baker, on the other hand, he's got a couple of guys going in the Thursday game that might just determine how well his week is going to go, between Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. I really want to like your team, Bake. I do. But I just don't fucking trust it. I just don't. I have no idea who's going to win this one, though. The line is awful close. And like I said, it was almost my matchup of the week. Let me just look at my time here real quick, and I'll see if it's time to get to that. Oh, wow. I'm actually getting a little better at making these videos nice and speedy. Anyhow, if you guys are paying attention, then you know by process of elimination that my matchup of the week is in fact Bobby versus Pat. Now, they're both 1-1. I feel like they both have pretty good teams, but the thing is, it's like, yeah, they're both 1-1. They both had a shot to be 2-0, and I feel like they just missed out on it. Pat losing in week 1 and Bobby losing in week 2. They both lost those games by pretty close margins, I believe. But here, look at this. Just feel me on why this is interesting. Andrew Luck is playing Jacksonville. That's good for Bobby. Drew Brees is playing Minnesota. That's good for Pat. Forte is playing the Jets. That's iffy. But then Pat's got Marshawn Lynch, who, this is news to me, but all of a sudden apparently has some kind of back problem that he's dealing with. And then in the wide receiver category, Bobby has Andre Johnson, Alshon Jeffrey, Pierre Garcon. Pat has Mike Wallace, Randall Cobb, Vincent Jackson. I feel like I want to give Pat a slight edge there, but not by a lot. Thing is, though, even though I think Pat's wide receivers are a little bit better, the Seahawks defense against Denver. Now, obviously I'm rooting for you there, Pat, since I'm playing Brett with Peyton Manning this week. But at the same time, I don't love the Seahawks defense against Denver because Peyton Manning is not going to want to get showed up twice by that same fucking team. You know that he has had this date marked on his calendar probably since the schedule came out. Who knows how that one's going to go. I'm totally going with my gut on this one. I'm going to say Bobby gets it and gets himself back in the win column. But I don't think by much. I really, really don't. All right, gentlemen. Well, that is going to be Chad's 2 cents for week 3. But before I go, I just want to say 1 or 2 more quick things. Fuck all you guys for having better teams than me, because I think most of you do. But don't sleep on me, because I'm not going to give up yet. Not dead yet, okay? Still a league champ. Still have every right to fucking call myself that until there's a new league champ. So I'm going to keep on doing it. And I'm going to keep on fighting like a motherfucker. Brett, you might beat me this week, but I'm going to do everything within my power to not make it fucking easy. That's Chad's 2 cents for week 3 of the 2014 season. And I will see you bitches in week 4.